The Fever Dream of the Maltese Falcon, a Taipei Noir, year 2080, Episode 5. It was stifling in the downside, 45 degrees, but not a cloud in the sky. Wisps of white trails could be seen at a considerable elevation, likely the afterburn of surveillance aircraft whizzing by surveillance balloons. For the past 50 years, since the virus, the imperialists had implemented aerial monitoring that was allegedly capable of recording all cellular interaction, but additionally made reception signals hazy and created a conspiracy born of dizziness and a pasty mouth syndrome. Humidity, 95%. 202,881 reported infections and 10,773 deaths. Lummix knew the kid had no one. She wasn't his last resort. Plenty of patsies roamed the streets with no one, but she was his last chance at something that could be called a half-decent life. Of course, the money looked good too, but that was a right brain response. The kid's presence gave her an old kick in the left brain, sparking her maternal instinct, but likely not enough for her to change her pragmatic grasp on current situations. The payment was vital, and the more non-traceable the better. Only chumps in her business accepted social surveillance credits. Lummix was originally going to set up the meeting between the kid and Frenchie at an old hotel that had reasonable rates by the minute, but thought better of it. There had been a virus outbreak at Dàshān Street near the red light district, and authorities were enforcing disinfection, which was really code for disposing of Johns, but she didn't want to take a chance. Meeting at her office was a neutral location that she could control, and the last place Chung-Ho would be looking for her, since it was the most obvious spot to find her. She knew Chung-Ho's type, and he wasn't so much as lazy, but more like too smart for his own good and too desperate for social surveillance credits to sit around waiting for his toes to be stomped on. Social surveillance credits, or SCs, also known as Essies, made the world go round, at least around the island, if not the downside, where everyone had none. They were certainly willing to figuratively stick a knife into the back of anything that moved to get some, because without Essies, you were no one. Detective rule number 4, don't let Essies define you. The kid had been lucky so far. A guy of his diminutive stature didn't usually get along well in the downside. When misfits existed in the upside, they were safe, likely pampered by found wealth, which was another code for corruption. Otherwise, they would have been terminated. The kid had no found wealth, so he had to keep his nose clean. For this reason, while in the downside, he always walked on the inside of covered sidewalks. The thing was to find protection from any turf debris falling onto unsuspecting citizens fumbling from one scam to the next. Wanhua was the lowest point in the downside. Not only was it geographically set at the bottom of a bowl, ramen dregs, as the Japanese colonizers used to say, but now it was an old dump of a neighborhood. It had been the starting point of past governments trying to revitalize the country, but then fell back into disrepair after the floodgates cracked under the pressure of the last tsunami, and mismanaged wastewater overcame the district. In short, Wanhua smelled bad, and the stink was only replaced by an ever-present whiff of corruption. After the virus hit, it became too much to bear. The kid found his way to the border and located Lummix's office. He gingerly made his way up the stairs beyond repair and buzzed the door. Xiaohua's voice chimed in. "Please position yourself within the camera." The kid tried, but he was too short. "Please position yourself within the camera." The kid stretched on his tiptoes, but it was no use. He knocked on the door. Lummix heard the gentle knocks and put down her tea. "Who is it?" "It's me. Open up." She opened the door. "Sorry about the camera out there. The wide-angle lens just stopped working. Since most of my clients are big people, I probably won't replace it." "The dig's never in," the kid chided. "Frenchie's going to be here in a few minutes. I suggest you tell me first whatever you're going to tell him," Lummix said. "I'd rather not rehash my story," the kid replied. "Look at you, pretending you've got a say in the matter," Lummix shot back. "I'll say what I have to say. When Frenchie gets here, you'll know." Lummix didn't like the kid's posturing, but the buzzer rang, and it was too late. "Chair, open the door." "Yes." The door opened, and in sauntered Frenchie, wearing an outdated and censored Old Republic of Hawaii shirt, cargo shorts, flip-flops, and a concerned look on his face. "There's another kid outside your building, you know that?" Lummix peeked out the window, and sure enough, there was the skinny young man she had spotted at the temple and had to give a slip to. He was in a gaudy coat, trying to act inconspicuous, but instead drew attention to himself, exhaling ungodly amounts of second-hand vape smoke. At least that's what she guessed. Since vaping oil became too expensive, most people needed to smoke the oil, squeezed out of dirty filtration systems, only found in the upside. Even though the Yulan magnolia oil, which was a stinky flower sold on the streets by homeless women, stunk, adding to the scent of the recycled oil made by the gutter smokes palatable. "He looks like a steam clock," Lummix snickered. "Maybe it's time to punch his time card." Frenchie looked concerned and took a step back. "That's way above my pay grade." "Don't worry, Buster, I can handle it just fine." Lummix looked like she could. "So what's this all about, the two of y'all? What's on the table?" The kid slipped down from his lofty position on the recliner and positioned himself in front of Frenchie. "You know what I've got, and I'm willing to give it to you for a price." Frenchie smiled. "You don't need to sell something for a price when that something can be taken away for free." The kid didn't bat an eye. "That's if you know where I'm keeping it." "Little guy like you, it shouldn't take long," Frenchie lightly prodded the kid with his finger, lifting up a jacket flap. "Back off, or I'll gut you," the kid retaliated. "Hey, none of that business here," Lummix moved in to break it up. "Don't be wise asses." Frenchie lowered his hand. "It doesn't matter. Dàshān is in town. He'll find a way." "Who's Dàshān?" Lummix was familiar with most cons, but this was a name she'd never heard before. Frenchie smiled. "I'm not surprised you don't know. He's elusive, but he's also the one who gets the job done. Do you remember when all the ATMs disappeared?" "Yep." Lummix knew that all too well. The ATM surveillance camera helped with almost half of her shaming business and dried up as soon as the cameras were gone. "Well, rumor has it, Dàshān was responsible for that," Frenchie said. "His haul was so huge that some banks went belly up, and the government, not wanting to bail them out, used the opportunity to push their social surveillance credits agenda. And the Essies were born," Lummix lamented. The kid looked anxious. "If he can figure out where I put the cure." "So it's a cure you've got," Frenchie said knowingly. He moved towards the kid. Lummix's phone. Someone was at the door. She opened the app and saw Chung Ho's mug in the camera, waiting. "I'm not at the office right now," Lummix said. Chung Ho banged on the door. "I can hear you inside." And the banging echoed through Lummix's phone, causing a high-pitched reverb. "I've got more evidence that doesn't make you look so good," Chung Ho responded. Lummix snorted. "Yeah? What?" "Why don't you open the door and find out?" "I told you, I'm not here." Chung Ho pressed his ear against the door. "Sounds like you've got visitors then." Lummix motioned to the kid and Frenchie to settle down, but too late. Frenchie's stick came down on the crown of the kid's head, and he wailed. "That's it, I'm coming in." Chung Ho hit the door with the full forced brunt of his shoulder, and it cracked open. The kid was on the ground, with his hand on his head. "He hit me," the kid pointed at Frenchie. "I had to defend myself," Frenchie retaliated. No one in the room bought that excuse. Lummix examined the crack at her door. "Why the hell did you break my door?" "Probable cause. It's my duty," Chung-ho shot back. "Yeah, right. Probable cause for social credits," Lummix quipped. "You'll be on that family trip to the independent Republic Hawaii in no time. Those are just the perks of the job." Chung-ho knew how the system worked. Earn the points by any means necessary and move up the ladder. It just so happened some jobs were better at earning points. That was police work. "Anyway, I'm going to have to take the whole lot of you in. This kid is hurt." "We were just kidding around." Lummix investigated the kid's head. "It's all clear. No blood. We just wanted to wind you up." "Well, now I'm wound up, so at least those two are coming with me." Lummix had to think quickly. "The kid's under my care. I'm his guardian." "Then I'll have to take you all in," Chung-ho threatened. "You really want me down there messing things up?" "Last time the chief wasn't thrilled and you lost credits. Pissed your wife off too." Chung-ho rethought his plan. "I've got to take someone down, otherwise I can't justify that cracked door frame if you decide to get angry about it." He pointed at Frenchie. "Come on." Frenchie wasn't happy. "Why, officer? This meeting certainly didn't bear any fruit. None that you were looking for anyway." Chung-ho pushed him out the door. "You want fruit? I'll give you fruit." Lummix now realized the kid was her most obvious option to clear her good name. Frenchie's gone, probably out of the game now. That didn't assure the kid in any way. "You don't know Dàshān. He's the reason we're all in this mess." "That guy outside your building works for him, and he won't hesitate to take what he thinks he's due. The only problem? He thinks he's due everything." Subscribe to Type A Noir on Spotify, Apple, and Google, or wherever you get your podcast. And please share with friends. Type A Noir is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Non-Derivatives 4.0 International License, which means share it with your friends, but don't use it in your own work and don't sell it. See you on the downside.